campaign. Partner, because when we say partner with to promote education, like it could fall under that. Like that is one way that we could promote it through a podcast, through
You
a
could
campaign,
argue that, yeah. All right,
through, you know, an Instagram campaign.
Yeah.
Or whatever. All
I
the
love
above.
a bit of marketing. This whole subject would have been helpful going into marketing, I think. So
Also
Adrian, I
getting
think you're
benefits
doing it
out
in
of
the right
marketing
order.
coming here, yeah.
I
I
think
think that's one of the last ones that I do. So
marketing.
yeah, this is my first subject.
Oh, cool. Cool.
So are we comfortable deleting the pink ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've covered it.
Bianca, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I reckon we could probably remove this one. Information pamphlet given. I like that one. All right. And we were down to 3.
I just want them to be closer together.
Do you want them to be the same color as well?
No, they're just getting really far apart. That's all.
All right.
They need to be touching.
Do you want to do education now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
So-
the pink one, Bianca, your separate entity
Mm-hmm.
to a bank. What's the entity and how do you envisage the medium between that and the education, like the message?
I suppose it's just separating itself from the bank itself, which can often have negative connotations associated to it. But in saying that, the conversation we were having before about you hate the banks, but also you wouldn't trust anybody else with your information when it comes to that sort of stuff. But I don't know if we're talking about from an educational perspective. Will people trust hearing that from a bank more or from some, female empowerment type website or app that I think, again, would end up getting linked to the social media slash influencing thing, because that's how we would promote the entity or the system or the app or whatever it is that we're going to create to
Sort of like that
make
one. Hey?
women financially literate. Did that answer your question? No.
No, I think I like it. I think it's just, I think it is similar to the digital interface one down the bottom. I think it's just the mechanism of whether it's digital or not can actually, it doesn't have to be digital. It could also be physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not, I guess it's the medium.
Yeah. Because when I was thinking, when I wrote what I wrote, I wasn't thinking about like a unit of study at school or at uni, which I think would probably make more sense, because if we're trying to get them before they get older, well, I don't know.
I mean, I think there are courses out there that you can do as an adult to increase your financial acumen, particularly that are targeted at females. I don't know what their uptake is and what they would focus on, but I've definitely seen them before.
What age group were you thinking here, Bianca? Like in school or after school, in the workplace?
No, I was thinking like women even my age or like our age, like in their 20s. But I just don't know if I saw like the Commonwealth Bank, this
Running
I don't know
that,
if my opinion even matters. I would probably not want to listen to it, because I would just think they just want me to buy a Commonwealth Bank product.
But I guess that's where you would tie in like the stages that we were talking about before, like establishing a different perception of banks first and then doing this part second.
Yeah.
potentially. I don't know.
I think
Yes.
I like the idea.
I'm just trying to visualize it. Like, you know how people come into your workplace and they run, the sessions from like leadership groups and all that sort of stuff. It's almost like that. You almost want it to be like, come into a trusted space. It needs to be opt out rather than opt in. Like, you don't have to search for it and find it. It's like, when you're in school and Harold used to come around in the caravan thing. It's like that, but for work and finance.
I think that's what I was trying to get at with like a central
Harold?
compliance.
Is Harold a perfect?
Healthy
giraffe.
Harold.
Oh,
Look
thank
at-
goodness. Yeah.
I never actually had Harold. I've just seen memes about Harold.
Oh, no way. Little has. There was a truck and everything.
What about like, the
No.
community
Never
safety
come
officer
across
bloke? There was a cop that used to come around, like they came to schools, they travel around schools and do stuff. Like, it's almost like a traveling around workplaces and doing stuff, like Red Cross blood van that comes to your workplace. You book them in, they come out, like, yeah, that's how
It's
I'm
almost
seeing
like-
your idea in my head.
Yeah, I like it.
As a
So,
service.
I guess I think when I think about this entity, I'm thinking literally a website with information.
Oh, right. We were so
Gotcha.
off track
Oh,
then.
oh, wow.
And links to the podcast and links to information and
Well, could that be part of the
you know-
digital interface kind of learning
yeah,
hub?
I
See,
think I was
like I
thinking
created
more-
one down there, which is accessible, easy to use financial digital learning hub. Sort of maybe that could be a branch off
Yeah.
that, or that could be
Yeah, but I
something
think
similar.
it's exactly that, but not under the name of the bank, unless we are, like
Gotcha.
Alex said, the first instance,
Like the
making
reputation
people trust
rehab.
the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
building
Yeah.
up the trust. So
I
that they
took your
feel
idea
Yeah.
comfortable.
somewhere totally different, Bianca. I'm so sorry.
You had like a mascot dressed up as a
I
as
was
a credit
gonna say-
As a
card.
beaver.
running around.
A
We had
beaver.
the
It was going to be a beaver. Yeah.
Ah, right. A beaver holding a credit card.
Bridget,
And you get discounted access to
Beaver.
Pornhub.
oh my god.
All right.
Ay, ay, ay.
Are we comfortable with the blue card in Co-Create Financial Literacy? Have we covered that in the yellow card?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Who's the blue card?
I think that's Bernie. Maybe we combine it into the blue one because we don't have many blue ones on the board. It's gone. I want color representation.
I was hoping like we would change the colors at the end when we do the difficulty matrix.
Oh,
So we
yeah,
just keep
yeah,
an eye
of
on the
course.
themes. But we can have blue representation in there. I'm happy to delete this orange one because I don't think it really sits in education. I think it's probably lender responsibility.
What is it again? Sorry.
It's more to like give have the banks should have like a people plan around how they recruit, maintain, and a strategy around how they recruit, maintain millennial awareness in banks so that they can cater to them and have more it's almost like, should you really build a product but not have people in your organization that represent that product or represent the user group of that product? It's like, can you run a disability service without having representation of people with disabilities in your organization, working for your organization, like representing their point of view and their voice to the customer?
What's your perception of the representation of millennials in banks now?
Well, I don't think that there's heaps of them. I think they'd probably maintain graduate jobs and then be in like quite low level positions, but it's like the idea of reverse mentoring. How do you get those groups in? And this is what I mean, people strategy. How do you get those people to have exposure to head ofs and, EGMs so that they can help to influence some of the products that you're creating?
Yeah,
'Cause I think you
suppose
guys do that with-
internally, like full of bloody millennials. The whole place is
Yep.
covered in
Yes.
this. Um,
Yeah.
And they are head ofs, some of them, and they are not EGM levels, but there are head ofs who are in their late 20s, early 30s, which are millennials. So I just was wondering what the perception is. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not
Well, I
about the
think-
people plan. Maybe it's back to that perception thing because it's literally swimming in millennials.
I expect that you're probably hitting quite a lot of people in the 25 to 30 age bracket. It's how do you get people who are actually in the younger, like not even younger, but like 20 to 25, like just out of uni, how do you get to actually experience them in the workplace? Like there's a lot of research in how do you put those people in the boardroom so that boards can associate with the customer group, and the millennials can also associate with boards to see how decisions are made, and how does that increase design thinking more generally.
Yeah.
It's just an idea, and I'm happy, like I said, I'm happy to delete it because it's a bit left field.
I don't think we need to delete it. I just, it's just interesting to hear that that's a perception that doesn't happen, because being the outspoken millennial, I found myself in boardrooms. I accidentally cancelled the NAB CEO's credit card twice. So like I have had that as a millennial in my 20s. So it's interesting that that's a perception that it doesn't happen.
I think my perception is that decision makers in banks are old white men.
Yeah. And maybe some of them are. Maybe it ties back into the reputational stuff in here. Yeah, I don't know.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Alex, I combined our two that basically said you have to pass a test to get a card, and just moved it over. I was like, I don't know why they're sitting over there by themselves, but they are the same thing, and it's lender responsibility.
Do you think that would, like, passing a test to get a credit card would deter people from getting a credit card more generally?
Yeah.
I think that was why I said maybe the caveat is what type of card you get, rather than can you or can you not, because there's a discrimination element to that.
Totally. I was just going to say, I was like, there's a, just socioeconomic. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. Digital interface.
So digital interface is the mechanism from which we're splitting it, mechanism which we're the medium. So that's the most, the assumption here is that that's the most common and easy to use functional process, right?
Yeah.
We've got digital budgeting algorithm as alerts attempts to use for using customer data. App functionality to test lending capacity.
That's similar to this. Can I combine these?
Yep. Combine those.
It's interesting that you chose to move the blue card onto the yellow card.
I got rid of the blue card last time.
I'm joking. The digital budgeting algorithms as alerts prompts, is that similar to behavioral insights on spending?
That might actually be more similar to one of the ones over here, actually. I think it fits better into here. The safety measures, the proactivity around life checkpoints. I might have to just slim my thoughts down, but I'll do that in a second. I'll just chuck it in here.
Look at that, guys. Look at that shrinkage.
Streamlined.
Love it.
Don't say that to a guy.
Love some shrinkage.
Never say that to a bloke. But we are streamlined, very streamlined. Well done. Svelte.
Oh my gosh, we have like 10 cards. That's so good.
That's really
it's great
good.
work, guys.
All right.
How many did we start with?
I think we have a photo. Somewhere. So we could do a comparison point.
Yeah, let's do a comparison point.
Just see where are the ones. Oh, there's so many photos.
And would now be a good time to stop the recording so we can shift into the next task?